He rubs the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
What is good, everyone? This is your boy Kuzu Ranger coming at you from Japan. Now today I'm going to talk about crime and the level of safety in Japanese society. Now this is a very important topic when considering moving to a new country, and I hope I'm not treating it too lightly for you. So depending on where you come from, you may see Japan in a different light than I do. In my case, comparing things to the USA, I consider Japan a pretty safe place to live overall. First, and perhaps most importantly, there are no guns here, which means there is no gun violence. And if there's one aspect I dislike about America, it is the level of violence, the amount of guns, and the overly confrontational attitude that many people unfortunately have. While I'll always be proud to be an American, I'm also aware that the US has its faults, just like any other country. So in this regard, if you're a male wanting a place to live without fear of violence, Japan is not a bad place to go. For the most part though, Japan is just a rather blasé country. People don't get up in other people's business, and you can say that Americans are very hot. We like to argue, we like to get in fights, we defend something wholeheartedly that we believe in, even when we are blind to the facts. You know, we're passionate, we like to thump our chest, we like to make noise and let others know we are strong and alive. Japan is completely the opposite, and dare I say relatively cold. They do everything they can to avoid arguments, never get into fights, and rarely stand up for themselves. They are indifferent. They put their heads down to avoid eye contact, put their tails between their legs, and make as little noise as possible so as to never go against the norm. Both sides have their pros and cons, no doubt, and both greatly shape how each society functions. I'm not here saying Japan or America are the best. It's just natural for me to compare these two because, I either adapt to it, understand it, or I reject these changes. You just don't have that much to worry about in terms of crimes here. To put it into perspective, I've seen people leave their engine running and windows open while they go buy something at a convenience store. People will leave their bags sitting on the dinner table and leave for the bathroom. People are generally pretty considerate or at least tolerant of others, so there are much less instances of conflict compared to Western cultures. If you were to ask me my biggest fear of living in Japan, it wouldn't be crimes or violence. I feel safe walking anywhere in Japan. Wait, let me rephrase that. I feel safe that I wouldn't be a victim of crime, but I would never feel safe walking on the road due to these fucking city drivers who have no common sense or respect for traffic laws.
Derp, this is a stop sign, so it means speed up. Derp, there is no stop sign, so that means stop.
Alright, sorry about that. Really, the two main things for adults to worry about living in a big city in Japan are theft and sexual harassment. I believe Osaka has among the highest rates of petty theft in all of Japan, but then again, I've never had anything stolen. It's usually things like people getting their bikes or wallets stolen. And remember that saying, worse than Japan may still be considerably less than many other countries. Like when people drop their wallets or phones or whatever on the train, many are in fact returned to their owner with all the cards and money untouched. People actually turn things over to the police without taking a personal reward. This just shows you that there are truly some very honest and respectable people living here. However, there are sex crimes. I have very few Western female friends, so I can't tell you their stories. But from the perspectives of Japanese citizens, Japan is not the safest country for women. Sexual harassment happens at work, and it most definitely happens to the high school girls who are forced to wear skirts all year long. Every single Japanese girlfriend I've had said they had been molested at least once, if not multiple times. Women are treated unequally, so men just feel empowered to take advantage of them and do as they wish, while at the same time very few Japanese women report these crimes to the police. So to think that my daughter, who has been a model since the age of 1 and has unique, non-Japanese features, may be a target is extremely upsetting to say the least. Japanese read graphic porn comics on crowded trains without feeling guilty, for God's sake, which if you think about it is basically promoting or at least normalizing rape. So for women it may be unsafe, but as a man I've never worried about walking alone at night and getting jumped or mugged. I've never worried about having a thug wanting to beat my head in just because I looked at him the wrong way. Really, there are no tough guys in the first place. There are no random fights in the parking lot at the shopping mall or after a movie. There are no psychos pulling out knives at a bar fight. There is no gang violence, no Yakuza bloodshed on the streets. And just to break some stupid stereotypes, no, people don't walk around with swords. There are no ninjas, and in fact, much fewer people than you think actually take karate or other martial arts. I'm not saying there's absolutely no crime, but in comparison to the US, it just happens much less. So cultures are shaped by history and religion and the collected beliefs of a society. Yet despite all the modernization, all the gadgets and technologies and breakthroughs, Japan is still hanging on to their traditional beliefs. That's something I would normally praise them for, but it also means they are too stubborn or proud or perhaps too stupid to change. And this is, for example, why gay rights are unheard of, why Japan has almost no ethnic diversity, and why women still think their only duty is to get married, pump out babies, and play house. Japanese do not want to change, and if they do, it's always at a snail's pace at the most inefficient way possible. But I'm getting off topic. You want to know about crime in the city. I can't give you many juicy stories because quite honestly, there's not much to talk about. I've been in 2 heated verbal fights, but no punches were thrown. I've never seen brawls or bloody-faced fighters. I've never had a gun go off, seen a knife, or been in a threatening situation. Okay, well, I've heard about a bunch of suicides, but that's a little different. Drugs exist, but are much less frequent than in the West, and for one thing, Japan is very tough on them. The penalty for getting caught with marijuana is the same as possession of cocaine. So you just don't see people selling shit in the corner. Okay, that's not true either, really. Pussy is sold everywhere here. Sex is a huge business in Japan, and I don't know if Japanese laws protect prostitution and brothels, or if police are just corrupt and they don't care. But the sex trade is a shady, common, and embarrassing part of Japan's culture that is in need of some change. So overall, if you come from a relatively high level of crime in your home country like I do in the US, coming to Japan is a pretty easy transition in terms of safety. There's not much to worry about. You can kind of rest assured that you're not going to be fucked with, and people leave you alone basically. So it's pretty easy in that respect. Anyways, this has been Kuzu Ranger. If you want anything answered, ask me some questions, leave me your comments and your suggestions. Tell me whatever you want to hear. Thanks for watching, guys. Check you next time. Boo.